Melissa.
How are we doing?
Just a second. And you're live.
We have audio?
Yep.
Fabulous. Okay, we are back. This is This Normal with Emily and Skye this evening. And we have Scarlette and Moloko from Voluptuous Entertainment, and you can see them and the other dancers on voluptuousentertainment.com. And they are burlesque dancers, and we've been talking with them about their special niche of burlesque, which is BBW women doing burlesque. And we were, on the break, we were talking about how wonderful boobs are. And we always talk about something interesting on the break that we don't talk about on camera. But that's what we were talking about. We were talking about how wonderful boobs are. Yay, boobs. No boobs. Boobs are a great thing. And that everyone loves boobs, regardless of whether or not they feel comfortable touching them.
It's true.
They're just happy, happy things. They got a happy boob day.
Yes. There should be a holiday for boobs.
There should be. There should be a holiday just for boobs. I think most everyone would be okay with that.
I would be okay with
I
that.
can't imagine that there would be people having a problem with that. I wanted to ask, and this may be an inappropriate question to some degree, but I was looking at the women on your site and profiles and everything, and you don't have to be precise with this, but I think our audience would be really interested in knowing, in general, what the age range is of some of the women who are performing.
Oh, well, let's see. What was, how old was Kate? Was she 19, 20?
20.
Okay, so our youngest performer that we've ever had in the troupe.
I was 20 as well.
But she was 19. No, she was 20.
She was
Okay,
20.
so our youngest so far has been 20. And our oldest is
46.
46 or 47?
But she would kill us for telling.
I'm not going to say who. I'm not going to out her.
Yes, it is. And we're all 20s and 30s for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good, yeah, because I think this is really important, because we've discussed on this program a lot, especially where women are concerned, that, and especially in American culture, we get so bombarded with messages that after a certain age, women cease to be sexy, cease to be sexual, cease to be interesting.
Yeah.
And we've discussed how there seems to be a new wave of some commercials that seem to be embracing some of the sexuality of women over 35, let's say. Although even then, it's not what it should be. But we've talked about how, a 20-year-old woman is a woman, but she's a 20-year-old woman.
Yep.
She's not a 30-year-old woman, and she's not a 40-year-old woman. She's not a 45-year-old woman, and these are different
things entirely.
different things.
Yes.
These are different women.
Well, you know what? I'll be really honest and say I just turned 34 in April, and
Happy birthday.
Thank you. I don't think that I've ever felt sexier in my life than I do right now. And I don't think that it has anything to do with my age. I think it's entirely based on my mental state. It's my emotional happiness with myself and my life, and I think age is completely irrelevant as far as the sexy quality of women goes. Our lady who is in her 40s is just as sexy as I am.
Absolutely.
I have no doubts about that. And
she has a very large following also.
Yes, she does. Beautiful woman, beautiful woman. And I feel like some of our younger dancers are equally captivating. There's no reason that you can't be sexy at any age,
Sexy is an attitude.
It is.
And it's an energy and a demeanor. You may be beautiful on the outside. You may be beautiful on the inside and not so hot on the outside. But I guarantee that the beautiful on the outside girl and the beautiful on the inside girl that has a great attitude and a great demeanor and a great energy is going to get the same amount of men. It doesn't matter if you're not that great looking, because attitude has so much, confidence has so much to do with it. It really does. If you walk out on stage and you're confident about yourself, the audience will be too. And I think there's a quote about age. age is a matter of mind. If you don't mind, it doesn't matter.
Very good.
You know?
I like that. I like that.
So, and we definitely don't mind. I would hire a 50-year-old woman if she could walk on stage and do what my 20-year-old does. You know, as long as she didn't have any health issues, I'd be totally down with that. Because that's something I have to be careful about too when it comes to BBWs in general, because there's a lot of issue with doing aerobic exercise sometimes, or doing high kicks and things like that, because not everybody can do them, so you've got to work everybody up slowly. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I have one girl in the troupe that's one size who can kick herself in the face. She's so flexible, and then another girl who's the same size as her who can't get it past her knee, and it's like, well, we're just going to work on it. Just keep getting it more and more. Stretch harder. Stretch every day instead of just the days you're with us. Stretch every day, and then you'll notice that every time you bend down to touch your toes, you're going to be an inch farther than you were the last time. So I can definitely say that even with the turnover that we've had with different dancers, the ones that didn't come back still tell me, you know, I never felt more healthy than when I did when I was dancing with you guys, because I felt more flexible. Even my sex life improved because I felt more flexible, like I could get that foot behind me in my bed, you know?
Absolutely.
So there's, burlesque is a very positive energy thing. There's a lot of self-confidence that you build if you don't already have it, just by doing it.
So do you feel that this is a really good activity, not only for health and physical health reasons, but also for mental health reasons?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I was always a really confident person, but being on stage and having people admire my physical form as well as my attitude and appreciate it for what it is, it gave me so much more, you know, realization that that confidence was there for a reason. You know what I mean? I really liked the feeling of having people watch me perform, and it just gives you such a boost. You know?
It's a rush, too.
It's definitely a rush.
Particularly for women who are not used to being in front of an audience taking their clothes off, or they've only had their husband for 10 years, or their boyfriend for a year, or they've just barely had sex 2 years ago, you know, whatever it is. They get on stage, and the answer is always the same when I talk to the dancers. It's, I love being on stage. It doesn't matter if I'm in pasties and panties. While it's going to make me kind of jittery right before, the reaction of the audience is what everybody wants. That's what they're waiting for, and the reaction from all our audiences has been overwhelmingly positive. So every girl walks off stage feeling like they are the sexiest thing in the world, and they are, because they just did that and the audience loved it. Because there are men that go to our shows who don't like big girls, and they will leave saying, that was sexy, you know, so.
Well, I think, you know, and that's one of those things too, that sexy as an attitude, I can see men and women of a variety of shapes and sizes, and if they have that sexy attitude, they look sexy.
Yep.
It's not about their physical form, it's about how they're pulling it off.
Yep.
And then people attribute it to the je ne sais quoi, I don't know what.
Yeah.
They just have something about them. It's the confidence.
It is, it's that confidence.
So are there other questions from our chat room people?
Mostly they're admiring what you're saying.
Aww.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can tell us that, that's good.
We appreciate when our ideals are supported.
Definitely.
Ben observes that the coolest thing about being a girl is she can hold boobs whenever she wants.
Yeah.
There's that. They're right there. It's true. If I didn't grow up with them, I might not leave the house.
You're there anytime you need them.
It's true. They're right there. Better than a stuffed animal.
Sometimes. Yeah. Do you have any other questions?
Sort of, but I'm not sure if it's necessarily appropriate.
Okay,
Woo!
we'll prep
Well,
for it and we'll see what
Lay it
I'm
on us anyway.
Your troupe is women, but if a transgender male to female were to come in, would they also be able to do it for less?
Most definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've been
Absolutely.
trying to find one.
That's a good question.
No, that's a
great
fantastic
question.
question. I've never actually been asked that question, so it's kind of a cool one. No, I mean, as long as they were a fantastic performer, there's really, you know, I have men that have performed with us. There's a guy right now who's technically in the troupe for one number because he's a country western dancer, and we're developing a country western burlesque number right now. And he was teaching us the country western moves so that we could adapt them into burlesque form and make them less honky-tonk and more sexy. And it turned out that we choreographed the whole thing around him and put him in the number because he did such a fantastic job, and he's comfortable with his body, and he's willing to let us take clothes off of him. And the way he says it, he's like, "Are you kidding? What guy isn't going to want 12 girls to take his clothes off?"
He's got a point.
Yeah.
Because that's our 12-girl, giant production number that we have. That nobody's going to get to see until our October show, I think. But yeah, if somebody came to me and they were dressing like a woman and behaving like a woman, and they had the same sex appeal as a woman, and they're comfortable enough to get on stage and do their thing, I think it would actually be a really cool gimmick. Because back in the day, men who dressed like women and performed actually had a really good gig, because they would get the audience to fall in love with them as a woman and then show that they were a man at the end. And it was pull the wig off, and then the audience was even more excited because it was like, oh my god, they just fooled me. So I think that would be a really cool gimmick to add to the show. So all you watchers out there, beware.
I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's one of the cool things about the number that we do where I play a man, is that throughout the number we do show that I'm not a man, and it's pretty exciting. I think everybody really likes it. We've had some really good feedback.
Yeah, it's really good. There's a point in the routine where we bust open her dinner shirt, because she's wearing the tie and the shirt and everything. Bust open the shirt, and then she's got this tuxedo bra. And it's not like it's a surprise, because she has such big boobs. When she comes out dressed like a guy, there's still boobs there.
There's still boobs, but it's about the attitude again.
Right.
I have the ability to pull off really mannish moves.
You're a very sexy man.
I know.
Yeah.
I've been told.
You and Mariah. I had another dancer who played the same role as Moloko when we had it was a 4-person number originally, where there was 2 detectives and 2 femme fatales, and Raya and her just stole the show as boys.
Yeah.
Everybody really liked it. When we got reviewed from the show, that was the highest ranking number that we did, and I think it was because they dressed like men, and they didn't fool the audience, but the audience was still, captured.
They wanted to go along with.
They wanted to go with the idea, of it, because granted she's dressed as a guy, but it's really girl on girl action on stage,
Right,
so.
Right. Well, the last guest that we had was Lisa Volpe, who's the artistic director for the Los Angeles Women's Shakespeare Company.
Oh, cool.
And it's an all women's Shakespeare.
They're very
Troupe.
That's really
Which
cool.
is backwards, because the
It was
girls
just
are playing
totally backwards, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. And so
Right,
she
great
usually
show.
plays the male lead roles, and so
That has got to be fun.
if you ever get to see them, go see them.
I would
They're
like
just
to.
incredible.
Sounds
They're
really neat.
absolutely incredible. And she is amazing. And with her as well, we've been talking about sort of that gender bending, and now when she's playing a male role, she looks like a guy.
Right.
And unless you know who she is, you sit there kind of looking and going, no,
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know, maybe. Because you really
You're confused.
You're confused.
You're conflicted.
You're
Not
not
really
really sure. Because she's just really incredible with that.
She's amazing.
But yeah, I can see how that would work well with what you're doing as well.
Definitely. We have another number that's fetish oriented, that's based on Perils of Pauline, back in the day, melodramatic
Nice.
stuff, and it's a parody number that I wrote with one of the other performers. Her name's Minnie Delicious. She's my smallest performer. She started at a size 12. Now she's down to a 10, like I was saying earlier. She's the very cusp of the troupe, and she's an amazing vocalist and an amazing dancer. And we wrote a parody to a Disney song. What is the original Disney song's name? I've been performing the parody
Be Our
for
Guest.
Be Our Guest.
Okay.
Be Our Guest, and it's
Beauty
called
and the
Get
Beast.
Undressed. And it is a melodramatic. It's a melodramatic dance routine that implements a male I play the guy in that, which is really different for me because I'm super feminine, so it's hard for me to play a guy. But when it's a melodramatic role, I get the big mustache and the big top hat, and I get to play that very over dramatic guy. So that makes it a little easier for me to flip sides on that. And the entire song is me as the really sadistic master, and she is the very dumb French maid. And throughout the entire thing, I'm chasing her around the stage, telling her to get undressed, and she just continues cleaning, you know, like I'm not talking to her. And so, you know, I end up like ripping her clothes off, and like, you know, I'm like, okay, bitch, get undressed, you know, it's time, let's do this. And it's just a really interesting parody of mixing melodrama, burlesque, and BDSM together with the gender bending in there also. So I don't actually get undressed in the routine. I end up in like my tuxedo shirt and boxers, you know, in the routine. And I'm not going to say what she goes down to, but yeah, it's an interesting routine where we get to mix a lot of different elements.
Sounds good. Sounds like a good routine.
Yeah, it's fun. The BDSM community requests it a lot. They saw it the first time when we performed for the, what was it called? The Monkey Wrench
Collective.
Monkey Wrench Collective. It's a
Fullerton.
little mini theater for small acts in Fullerton, and we were performing with No Strings Attached. The puppet, hand puppet, adult puppet show.
Naughty puppet shows. It
It's-
was really fun.
If you're familiar with Whose Line Is It Anyways, it's a similar format, except they use puppets to do all of the improv.
Okay.
And so they had hired us as an in-between act for them so that their performers could rest and kind of recruit mentally from each improv. So we would come out between each of their improv games and do a burlesque routine. And we did that particular burlesque routine, and it just so happened that a FetLife group had come out to see the adult puppet show, and they saw us, and they fell in love with us, and now they're having us perform in August at one of their socials.
Oh, wonderful.
So we're really
That's
excited
great.
about that. So if any of you guys are affiliated in the BDSM world or on FetLife, we'll be performing at the Cook's Corner August social. I think it's
The first
Thursday?
Thursday of the month. Every month they have a social
Yeah, they
down
have a
in
social.
Mission Viejo area.
Yeah, so if you know where Cook's Corner is, that's where it's going to be. And it'll be outdoors, so very nipply. In August, so we'll be performing some of our fetish routines there for them. So.
Nice.
And we're developing
That's great.
another one hopefully by then, so we'll have a new routine. Tom Lair sings a song called Masochism Tango, so we're going to develop a weird burlesque tango to that.